And welcome everybody to Runeterra Academy's sophomore feature match of the playoffs this time around. In the first round of 16, this matchup we have to bring to you today is TT Passion, the second seed out of Group 1, while Urgottem Reformed, against Urgottem Reformed, the third seed out of Group 2. I will be one of your play-by-play caster tonight. I'm Sun Praising. Alongside me is Tiger.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the playoffs. Week 1 of the playoffs. Urgottem Reform, TT Passion. A 2 versus 3 matchup. We got TT Passion coming in at 5-2 on the regular season. Urgottem Reformed at 4-3. Both of them have a game score, though, of 11 wins and 7 losses. So should be a pretty close and exciting series is what we would like to hope. But we're getting right on into the draft. We're seeing a lot of bot lane bans here, Sun Praising.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a little bit interesting, that one there, because at least according to the stats books, is that one position to look out for out of these two teams are the top laners of both teams. P7 having the being both in the top 5 of CS per minute and CSD at 15 minutes in the whole entire sophomore circuit. So, I mean, considering that, it's a bit strange that we have not seen any bans towards the top side. However, maybe it's a gentleman's agreement between the two of them. You never know.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes the thing is that you want to ban out whoever has the smallest champion pool instead of who's the best player, because sometimes you get into a situation where, like, you ban out the Fiora, the Camille, whichever pick that you want to go against P7 XTA, but then you're just dealing with the next pick up. But if you go towards the bot lane and try to ban out some of the power picks there, maybe you get a lower level champion that you're up against. But we've seen the first pick priority on the Xin Zhao. I like Xin Zhao a lot, has a lot of early power in the game, looks for some early ganks going on with the audacious charge, getting himself into some situations and trying to find a lot of skirmishes as well. So that definitely speaks to the fact that Urgottem Reformed on this blue side are going to be looking to take command early on in the game.
Yeah, but then I do also like this separate counter to it with the Veigar being able to throw out the cage and kind of nullifying what Xin Zhao, when he wants to dash in, just throw that up. Won't be able to. We'll just lock him down in the baby cage. Feels nice. And with Rek'Sai coming through, it's a little bit expected considering the comfort and what's available for Shake Bake. But perhaps not I'm not saying not meta, but definitely a high risk yet high reward sort of playstyle coming out of the jungler of TT Passion.
Yeah, I think that Rek'Sai is a pretty strong match into Xin Zhao. I mean, getting some of that long range poke off in the underground form feels pretty nice, but then being able to get some hard CC with the Unburrow, and then just some of the mid-game power where you can just assassinate one enemy, that's going to feel nice. I think that a Stride Breaker Rek'Sai build makes sense in team fights as well, but you can definitely go towards that Prowler's Claw as well to try to get some assassinations. So that's going to force Urgottem Reformed to think about their comp and see if they're going to get a little bit tankier of a front line to help deal with this Rek'Sai. But the Brahm's going to come in. maybe going to be able to block out some of the bullets in the curtain call for Urgottem Reform's Jhin pickup in the bot lane. So we'll see if that's going to be enough to stop the early game power of the Jhin Lux.
Yeah, and I think it's a little bit interesting having selected Braum as as a TT Passion. Let's that ban go really long for a moment there. I almost thought for a second that they'd miss it. It has happened before on casts where it seems just a little bit too slow to get in that first ban. However, Mundo being that ban there. But yeah, back to Braum. I'd have to imagine that this is a well, we just sack bot lane pick because I think into Jhin Lux, especially early on, can definitely feel a bit rough not really being able to do too much counter damage back out to them. So, but here we are.
Yeah, I would like to see a Lucian pick up here. I think that Lucian not only is a great pair with Braum in the bot lane, but also is a flexible pick. I mean, we've talked about how TT Passion have a carry in the top lane in P7 XTA. So I don't know if Lucian is in that champ pool, but I think that that is a champion that you can sort of look to as a flex on the red side. Instead, it's going to be the Jinx. Securing some of the scaling in the bot lane, scaling with both of the carries actually in the Jinx and Veigar, going to feel good for TT Passion here. We'll see if they're going to be able to stall out the game enough to get those champions online.
Yeah, and especially with Jinx, the fact that she can really just turn an entire game around, and actually, you were saying it was going to be Jhin Lux bot lane, I just kind of figured it was as well, but there we go, with Nami locked in, that's going to be Lux mid.
Yeah, Lux into Veigar, I think, is a pretty good matchup, so I guess that makes a lot of sense. I mean, Lux outranges Veigar. As long as you can just throw out the Lucent Singularities, make sure that you're getting some poke down from outside the event horizon range. And the event horizon takes long enough to, on the cast time, that if it's casted from the maximum range, then you can just run out of it. So I think that it's going to be an alright position. It'll be interesting to see the Lux build. I think that she's always a champion that can do a decent amount of shielding, but you're going to be mostly looking at that poke and the damage coming through from a full rotation of spells. So I think that that's going to be helpful, especially against a team comp that we're seeing here with 4 pretty squishy members aside from this Braum. So I think that the Shen pickup is pretty huge for Urgottem Reformed. Graves as the top laner for TT Passion, going to be looking to be potentially one of the strongest carries of the game if it's allowed to get online.
Yeah, that's if he's allowed to, but I still find it a little bit interesting that they've decided to pick Graves into Shin, and I think that might just slightly be a sort of comfort thing, because I know P7 XTA does kind of play around all the different roles a bit, so he's a bit more familiar with jungle, and when he does play jungle, he's a bit of a Graves fan, and might just be okay. Well, get game 1, just play what we're comfortable with, hopefully stomp, and then force them to make bans according to that later on, is perhaps what they're trying to go for with this pick.
Yeah, so my early assessment is that once the level 6s come through on the solo laners for Urgottem Reformed, they're going to be in a very strong spot, and they're going to want to get themselves advantages at that point. I'm not sure how good Nami plus Jhin is as a combo. Is it? I normally think with the Nami, you want to have someone who can get a bunch of auto attacks off really fast to use that E. But what else does Jhin have to offer to go alongside the Nami?
4. That's what Jhin has. You get a Nami E on a 4th shot to poke, and then it hits like a truck.
Fair enough.
And that and I believe it was actually last season where Nami's E was changed to where it's on all all damage, or at least all targeted abilities, including as well. So get a nice little bit of bouncing grenades in there and a fourth shot. It's not exactly. I mean, generally, you think Nami, especially with how Electrocute works on Nami. Even obviously, Nami Lucian has been a fairly popular one in recent years, but I do think Nami Jin is pretty. It's a bit different to the one you think Nami's strong at, but I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I will be interested to see the rune choices on the Nami because, like you're saying, normally when you think of like a Nami Lucian sort of bot lane, you're thinking of the Electrocute Nami, right? But if it's going to be a situation where it's harder to get all three of those procs, and maybe it's easy enough if you land auto plus dancing grenade plus deadly flourish, uh, but it's also possible to go something like Glacial Augment on Nami and try to get the ultimate to put down those slows in addition, make it that much more difficult to get out of if you put yourself in a choke point and then get hit by that tidal wave. So we'll have to look into the game, see what the picks for Altro are here on those rune choices. But I think that it's a very strong mid game coming out from Urgottem Reformed.
Oh yeah, very strong mid game. Like pretty much, especially considering TT Passion's current composition, which we're probably going to say around when, as you said, when the level 6s come online. Um, it is the pressure is still slightly on Urgottem Reform to execute correctly, because as I think as this game goes on, if they do not like play to what their composition strength is, they'll struggle a bit more as the side of TT Passion starts to come online. But overall, I mean, you get hit by one light binding, and then the follow-up damage is you're just getting destroyed, especially with the everything already being selected. But with that note, coming into game one, Tiger, who do you got down for those who might be throwing the channel points on this game?
Well, I do have some slight concerns about how strong the front line is for TT Passion, but I do think that the Jinx and Vagar scaling is very menacing, and I think that I give them a slight edge because there's a huge burden to perform in the early to mid stages of the game for Urgottem Reformed. If they just wait for the scaling to happen, then Chessie and Slap That Ash are going to be in a great spot to carry this game. So I'll give a slight edge to TT Passion, but very close.
All right. And with that note, we're just about to enter the spectator delay. Then we will be back in about 2.5 minutes, maybe a bit longer, depending on loading times. But don't go anywhere, because when we do come back, we will bring you game one between TT Passion and Urgottem Reformed. Don't go anywhere. And we have loaded onto the Rift for game one of this round of 16 matchup between Urgottem Reformed and TT Passion. And I mean, I've got to say, we've got a very explosive composition coming out of Urgottem Reformed really early on here with a lot of that CC and high damage, especially towards the middle and early games, Tiger.
Yeah, we were talking about the Nami rune choices a little bit more. We've got Summon Airy, so that makes a lot of sense. Get a little bit of extra poke damage in with that E, but also get that extra shielding power. So this is kind of the ultimate usage of Summon Airy in my book. And you want to be able to get some use out of it on the offensive side and defensively. So very much like to see that rune in play here for Altro's Nami. But looking at the summoner spells, we've got Ignite Heal for both bot lanes, so not the most kill heavy summoner spells of all. You could always look towards Exhaust, but still going to be looking for some of that extra lane power with the Ignite. So we'll see if that ends up becoming any kills in that bottom side of the map. But I would expect that to be played out rather quietly until the junglers arrive between Anami and Braum in the bot lane. So probably looking towards Urgottem Reformed getting the pressure in that lane. In mid lane, I expect them to as well. Lux getting that extra range, not respectable, should be able to secure the push, get the level 2, and then be a little bit too threatening for Chessie to be pushing it all the way forward. So I think that will give a lot of priority towards T1 Lucifer on the bottom side of the map, being able to go towards some potential invades.
Yeah, and especially going into a Rek'Sai, and even though the rest of TT Passion's composition scales really nicely, Rek'Sai doesn't. And as you said, with a lot of the advantages in the lanes, it it could be very hard for inside of Shake Bake to really start to run away through the jungle, especially considering the pick. However, you'd say Jinx, Graves, Vagar, they're always going to come online at one point if they're given the time to do so. However, we just might see a gank towards this bottom side of the map as there's Shake Bake heading down. There it is coming through. Will land the knockup onto Blue Lake. Will now flash away, and he'll use Ultra flashing as well. So that's actually, I must have not heard. I thought I heard the heal, but I guess it was not used. But either it's 2 flashes used with the Rek'Sai being around. That is really huge for the side of TT Passion.
Yeah, so both those flashes missing in the bottom lane is going to mean that that's a much more gankable lane. I wanted to talk about how the tunnel gives you some creative gank angles, but didn't even need the tunnel to be setting that up. Just uses it as a dash. So a good work from Shake Bake there to get the invade off a little bit. Gonna get some vision into the enemy jungle as well. Couldn't realize that that red buff is not there, so just gonna back off on the back end of that. But those flashes being down definitely going to be punishable for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, and especially as you were saying, since oh wait, I was about to say, but we do have Shake Bake and Lucifer kind of finding each other back away as the Shield Crab was already taking not much to fight for, and it'd be an unreasonably high of a risk for how low of a reward would come from that. But yeah, as you mentioned earlier, Tiger, that you expected there to be a lot of focus towards the bot side of the map, especially from Lucifer on this Xin Zhao, and now that his two bot laners don't have their flashes in comparison, it's looking a lot more difficult for the side of Urgottem Reform to perhaps go with that sort of game plan.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit more. I don't know how necessary Flash is to get the gank set up for the bot laners. Potentially, Ultra wants to flash into bubble range, but the range. Oh, we got the trading going on here. I was gonna say the.
Oh wait, no, hold on, it'll land. The bubble will get that Ashe, but that's going to be really weird to say considering they don't play they don't play Ashe. Oh, hold on, flashing from Lucifer, trying to find the kill. Not quite enough damage onto that Ashe, but onto that, well, I guess that Jinx. But either way, that's both summoner spells down on the for the ADC of TT Passion. So I'm still seeing a bit of, despite my last few statements that we were trying to find that. But oh wait, not enough respect. Speaking of, with no flash and no heal. And yeah, appropriate respect not shown, and that's the first blood going up to the side of Urgottem Reformed.
Yeah, Lucifer putting a lot of time in this bot lane. We'll see if Shakebake can turn it around, though.
Yeah, you can't say it hasn't worked at this point. However, the flash in from Shakebake will land the stun onto T1 Lucifer, and that will be a very quick and relatively easy kill for the side of TT Passion on the return. However, Chessie is here in the bottom lane. Blue Lake will have the Stand United used on him. Triple taunt coming through from El Dragon. Enough to save his ADC, but will be enough to save himself. Chessie says no. Chessie getting the kill there with the ultimate, the primordial burst.
Yeah, the primordial burst.
It is the primordial burst. Let's go. Okay.
That's a good roam coming out from Chessie, already going to be looking with those predator boots to get some of those event horizons to connect. So that's going to be 2 kills going over to TT Passion, 1 kill going to Urgottem Reform. It was the first blood. We'll see if Lucifer can get in here.
Heal slots getting very low, and they'll have vision of him. However, this might will be enough from Shake and Bake to claim that first mountain break, and without any of the extra abilities landing onto this Braum, wisely, Lucifer will decide to just head away. Though I can definitely see the wants to try to find something there. I totally see that.
Yeah, a nice attempt over the wall with the wind becomes lightning. You never know whether the enemy jungler is going to have smite or not. It's a really difficult summoner spell to keep track of. But I think that going back to
Dragon's finding a very good trade for himself.
Yeah,
very nice chunk out of P7 XTA, and as we were saying earlier, it was a bit of an interesting decision to put Graves into Shin, and well, I think that's just about the reason why we've seen right there how P7 XTA doesn't know where T1 Lucifer is, so not quite getting the knockup just yet. Lands it now, and a bit of miscommunication between not respectable, but it won't matter as they get the kill onto P7 XTA.
Yeah, they're able to collapse a little bit too deep of a roam into the enemy jungle, going to get punished there. Even Flash going to be burned. Flash traded back by not respectable to find that auto attack to finish off the kill there. That means that we've got a small gold lead in favor now of Urgottem Reform. They were about even after the first 1 for 2. But they're going to be pushing forward now, just getting some of the CS advantages. Lucifer doing especially good work in the jungle to get more camps than Shake Bake and get some of that early gold lead through just gathering of natural resources. And that's always an important thing in these games that are in the lower to middle ELOs. You want to just out CS your opponent and get some gold advantages through that. So good work there for T1 Lucifer.
Especially when it's not quite so certain as to how quickly your opponents will be CSing those extra camps. Will feel a bit nice, however. I wouldn't say it has quite bloomed in the most crazy way just yet, but we see Shakebake going for another gank. Will land the stun onto Shakebake, and as a Stand United comes through, that will ward off the gank. However, I'm not quite sure if that was completely necessary given the circumstances. And with that global ultimate down, that's a little bit less global map pressure coming out from L Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, I think that with no flash for not respectable, the big shield was important. Primordial Burst available for Chessie, Void Rush available for Shakebake as well. So that's a lot of damage that can come in if you don't answer. So just the safest bet is to have Eldragon come in, but sacrificing a little bit of time from the top lane. Could have been barrier instead, I suppose, but I think getting that extra member there as well
And the
certainly
stun
warded off
here
any.
gets a decent bit of damage onto P7 XTA. However, returning higher will bring that trade about level, but overall, I mean, we're still getting the small glimpses to how Shin might just be able to dominate this side lane already here. 11 minutes in.
Yeah, I think that El Dragon has been playing this game out particularly well. Right now, behind a little bit in the CS, but that's in large part due to already using Stand United twice, once to save the bot lane, once to save the mid lane, dying for it as well in the bot lane. So a lot of team focused play from El Dragon, but it's been pretty effective as well in making sure that the team doesn't lose too many resources in these powerful carries that you're looking at in Blue Lake and not respectable. Uh, they're going to be in a decent spot going into this mid game, very much an even game state. They're going to want to hopefully start taking some dragons here. Getting this Rift Herald is also nice to potentially get some gold advantages, but you want to start to see some of these early
Not
game power
respectable.
stacking
Will
up.
get marked out here, taking a decent bit of damage. However, coming through, won't get the final spark. Oftentimes, Shakebake on very little health all the while. Will land onto this Rom, and that sort of self-gank will go away. So that is the kill going over to Urgottem Reformed, and despite our predictions and our understanding that TT Passion had a really solid mid-game draft, it hasn't really gone to plan for them so far. And actually, will not really be able to do much there. Is an attempted engage on to not respectable, but fine, fine. Oh, fine, wait, not respectable, but either way, we've got the Rift Herald being summoned in the bot lane as you're saying that extra gold from the plates. Perhaps trying to come through it. L Dragon will flash away here for P7. There it is. P7 XTA getting the solo kill onto L Dragon, so perhaps a little bit too ambitious from the top laner of Urgottem Reformed, and already it's the kill count sits at 4-2, but they're not quite done just yet. Event Horizon will land onto Outro. Super Mega Death Rocket gets the kill before he slaps that Ash, and it's not completely done just yet. Shakebake will get hit by the Wind Becomes Lightning, and there it is, the final spark. Didn't quite get used last time. Will be stunned now, and as Stand United comes through, they just might look to turn this around. Oh, that hurts to see. 911 will be showing his team out there. However, it's going to be a lot of flashes used, and on such low health, maybe it'll be enough flash forward from Blue Lake trying to get the Deadly Flourish onto the Braum, not finding that, but this could very well be the Cloud Drake going over to the side of Urgottem Reformed.
Yeah, but at what cost? P7 has already taken an entire tower in the top side of the map, getting a big CS lead. If we can pan over to the individual gold, we'll see a 2.5k gold lead just in the top lane for P7 XTA. So great work on the Graves. This is exactly what you pick that champ to do. You want to be knocking those turrets down early on in the game, and not respectable might not be respecting the enemy team right now.
Oh yeah, as you're saying, here comes Shakebake. Did manage to find the snare into Chessie, but just Shakebake has so much damage on his own already. Won't matter as Chessie throwing out his little Q to pick up that kill at the end of the fight there and gets a bit more AP onto the stacks. However, 911 perhaps slightly caught out of position, though does have Chessie around to back him up, and respectably so, Urgon Reformed will back away.
Yeah, and I think that it's very difficult to get a pick onto 911 here because Braum is just a difficult champion to kill off. I mean, stopwatch available here in addition to the fact that Braum just pretty tanky to begin with, got some extra health with that Kindle gem, going to be able to put up the unbreakable and avoid taking damage directionally. And then just being able to hop away as well is
One
powerful.
Lucifer will be able to damage that event horizon, and whoa my gosh, that is a ton of burst coming out from Not Respectable. That is not very much with his namesake. Getting straight to the bot lane. Tidal wave. Fourth shot goes Blue Lake layered with that E, doing that extra bit of magic damage. Getting a kill from relatively high HP onto a Braum. And I know it was kind of went under the rug for a bit there, but just showing just how powerful not Lucian Nami, Jin Nami can be.
Yeah, I think that the timing was perfect on the tidal wave. Unbreakable was just going down onto cooldown. So 911 not able to.
No, okay, not respectable. Will land that final spark, but more than likely that's just going to force the recall out of this opposing mid laner. T1 Lucifer, got perhaps not the best use of Crescent Guard there. A little bit late on that. Maybe expecting an ultimate coming through from P7, though it was on cooldown. Bit unnecessary, but still I'd say relatively big for the side of TT Passion.
Yeah, I mean the only threat that was still there is a flash end of the line. Graves can still get pretty good damage off with that Q, so just playing it safe, I think, is an okay play there. But that means it's going to be on cooldown just for a little while here. No objectives coming up before it comes back off of cooldown, so I think that it's okay to drop that there. But not going to be able to gain anything in that top lane play. Not respectable. Hanging out here in the bot side. We'll see if they can pick up anything here.
Oh, they'll find the snare onto this Grum. 911 hopping away will be able to survive that fairly easily. Though, with that in mind, it seems like a lot of both teams are heading towards this bot lane. Four members of both teams, from jungle to support, all here as the bubble won't quite land, and here comes Lucifer with the dash in. That being said, it's a great unbreakable from 911 being able to stop that tidal wave, but Shake Bake with a bit of the miscommunication there, picking up that first kill, and all the while 911 gets that and won't get any in return on the side of Urgottem Reformed. And actually, that was very close to living on the edge there from Chessie, as it's a 3-4-0 going over to the side of Urgottem Reformed. But E7 XTA all the while in that side lane, doing his thing.
Yeah, taking another tower here. I don't think worth this time, though. It's going to be harder to push into that tier 3 for the future and continue to extend these advantages. And giving up a 3-for-0 is definitely not optimal, but not respectable is too far forward again.
Yeah, he's perhaps not respecting that Graves damage, and wow, the burst comes through, does a bunch of damage, gets the shutdown. Furthermore, so I mean, so far for the side of TT Passion, it's been the P7, show, but it's looking like it's going to be even more so that coming on throughout the rest of this game.
Yeah, I don't need to say very much about that pick in the mid lane. I mean, it is what it is. But I wanted to go back to the team fight in the bot lane. I think that it was a very nicely used stand united from El Dragon to unite with Lucifer in the front line and allow all of that space to kill off Shake Bake at the beginning of the fight, and then they were able to turn it from there.
Yeah, and I look for a second that, especially with the Unbreakable by 911 being used to really stop that. Hold on, you got a fight coming through. Shake Bake's already gone low, so the pokes come out. Lucifer trying to find the backline. Shake Bake's caught out completely without anywhere to go. That's currently one kill going in favor. Hold on, that was the Gale Force in, trying to find the counter kill, but it's not enough. P7 now looking low. Bubble lands, but there's just not quite enough range without that Jin being up on the kill there. And so without that damage, they will be able to walk out all alive. Well, I say all, but Shake Bake went down so early in the fight that all still does kind of apply, especially with how low those health bars were for TT Passion.
Yeah, a 1-for-1 plus Drake is definitely something TT Passion's going to feel good about going into this next stage of the game. First turret taken down in favor of Urgottem Reformed here. Going to be getting a little bit of gold back towards that front line that they've got working for them. They're going to want to keep Dragon going towards these side lanes, trying to get positions where Stand United can come in handy. They'll try to take this mid tier one shortly as well. Both sides kind of in range where they could push towards going for this mid tier one, but it looks like just farming it up is going to be the call from TT Passion for now. A pretty heavy group here with the three main members in the mid lane for Urgottem Reform. They're going to be trying to avoid getting any more pickoffs, especially potentially onto not respectable here. With 5 kills, you definitely don't want to be giving over any extra kill gold as that Lux, so definitely wanting to protect the big
Curly
carry.
holds up. Perhaps caught out a bit here as T1 Lucifer Stand United will come through. Heal is enough, keeps him alive with that Gore Drinker, and all the while turned around incredibly well by Dragon with the Stand United keeping his allies alive, and that is a very favorable fight going over to the side of Urgottem Reform.
It's a kind of favorable fight. Once again, on the other side of the map, it's P7 taking a tower as a response. Maybe going to get 2 towers here. So if that's the case, definitely not worth. But at the same time, being able to save Lucifer there is pretty big for Dragon. I mean, do you see the size of that shield? It was basically
Yeah.
entire health bar came back
Yeah,
from 1
yeah.
HP.
I mean, Lucifer had to have single-digit health bar there. However, Blue Lake will be knocked up. That he's kind of early, and all the while, Final Spark comes through, and hold on, has to run away now. 911, taking down to about half health, doing his best job to use himself as a meat shield in front of that curtain call. But with that in mind, that will be the tier one mid turret going down in favor of Urgottem Reformed, opening up the map just a little bit more for themselves.
Yeah, and getting that's going to feel really nice to get the extra gold as well. Going to be able to rotate that into some vision. We still see a few deep wards as Dragon going to be in a position maybe to turn on
Try
P7.
to find the kill onto P7. Yeah, has to hop away. Will burn his ultimate early on just to stay out of range here. Flash in from Dragon and followed up by T1 Lucifer. P7, he doesn't quite show the respect needs. Maybe no, actually, the Eclipse with the lifesteal and shielding, and as Chest Yi gets down here, that is going to be P7 XTA getting the kill in a 2v1. And now I mean, he's feeling incredible at this point. Like he's loving life on this Graves.
Yeah, definitely the most powerful champion on the map at this state of the game. If that wind becomes lightning is connected from Lucifer, that would have definitely been the kill going the opposite direction. But just a confidence in being able to outplay the 2v1, and P7 pays it off with picking up that kill. Chessie rotates over in time to dissuade any further engagement from Lucifer, and able to just set that up as a kill means that the gold lead remaining on the side of TT Passion. They've got the 700 gold on the bounty for P7 XTA. So anyone able to take down that Graves is on the most wanted list. So he's going to be giving a big payout. But we've got this next Drake coming up. Hextech Soul is the map for this game. This would be the third Drake picked up for the side of TT Passion. That would get one away from the soul, but it looks like it's going to be contested.
Yeah, here comes the Stand United trying to find the CC. Comes through and it's stolen at the start of this fight. P7 is down. That is the Jin picking up the shutdown onto the top laner. Double kill going over to the side of Blue Lake, and it is a stomp of a fight from Urgottem Reform.
Yeah, and that was just a great beginning to the fight, splitting everyone up with the
We're gonna go
Crescent
for
Guard
Baron.
was Lucifer. They may look towards Baron here. Should be a viable option. 5v1 on the map. No one died in that fight either.
Oh,
Oh,
hold on. The binding on to Chess Yi goes down and in return will be traded back from Chess Yi with the primordial burst, but with nobody left on the map, there's absolutely nothing TT Passion can do about this Baron just yet. Or, well, it's down to about 4k health as respawns have just come up, and I doubt they'll be able to get here in time.
yeah, I think not respectable in that fight. Could have just stayed at range and gone for the final spark. It could have been just coming off of cooldown from the previous fight, so I'm not exactly sure what the timing was there. But Chessie able to step up, put down the primordial burst, and get the counter kill. So that at least takes one of the Baron buffs away. But now with the about 2,500 gold lead. It's swung the other way on the map. It's going to be Urgottem Reformed in the spot of power for the next few minutes. Got that Baron buff on 4 members. Going to be able to push towards some more towers. I mean, P7 is back out on the same tricks as before, just pushing the side lanes up. But we'll see if it can be countered here in the mid lane potentially by this 4-man group from Urgottem Reform.
Yeah, and even though Urgottem Reformed haven't really been all too amazing in terms of their execution so far, that extra power just on their composition was amazing enough to show them through that last fight. As you were saying, the sudden shift in the gold difference is it's absolutely incredible. Because I mean, we were at a point where TT Passion was leading by 1k. Hold on, P7 trying to find something on the no, I suppose not. Oh, wow, though. Shake Bake on the corner, trying to find a way in. Oh, dear, that is very close and not respectable on that life finder. Not quite finding it, though, but the siege is coming through, and it's feeling very, very nice for Urgottem.
Yeah, the siege
Whoa!
potential of this comp is one of its best
Hold on,
attributes.
Chess Yi. Gets very low. Heal already used. So I believe he will be able to get out of there alive, but at the cost of what? Actually, 911 might just go down here. Will have to pop away, and that's quite a few summoner spells already used for very little cost over on the side of Urgottem Reform. Really doing well with this sieging potential, with this flux and Jin and all this range. Under the tower, P7 will take the tower here, so won't have that aggro onto him anymore. But we'll flash forward onto L Dragon, who just pops away, but will it be enough? L Dragon going low, L Dragon finally going down there. So even though it was absolutely massive in the mid lane, they managed to pick up the inhibitor from the side of Urgottem Reform. There's still P7, who's he's still looking good for himself.
Yeah, so they've got that 1 point of power on the map. A Flame Horizon has been completed, getting that 100 CS advantage crest for P7 XTA in this top lane matchup. Going to be on 4 items now as well. Up against some enemy champions that are on like 2.5 to 3 items. So going to be still feeling really good in the 1v1s. Should be able to come away with some more kills here. I was looking at the tier 2 turret in that bot lane as the fight commenced between P7 and L Dragon, and it took like 500 damage as it died there. It was just a huge proc. I have to assume that it's the demolish proc is what happened there. But P7 doing a ton of damage to these towers once again, making it very difficult to fight him off, even if he is under the enemy tower.
Yeah, I mean, how fast he's taking these objectives. L Dragon going to have to Dina dash away here, and with P7 pushing through and the Dragon not up just yet, as you're saying, we do get a confirmation right there that it is in fact a Demolish proc that took the last one, and that, or at least helped take this last tower, and with that, that'll be the inhibitor pretty much completely uncontested taken, though there is still the Oh no, actually it was taken it was taken under our noses actually. I thought for a second that there was going to be a bit of a contesting from the side of Urgottem Reform for that sole point, but no, it's just it was just a trade. Dragon for inhibitor between these two teams.
Yeah, right now it feels like what's going to be the win condition that you have on the side of TT Passion is that you get a 4v4 fight and you're just able to delay for long enough, even if you lose that fight, that P7 in the side lane's able to take everything. I mean, he's just taking these towers so quickly, even on the shots that aren't demolished procs, he's still doing like 400 damage to the towers on each auto attack. It's just so much that's coming down from this build on the Graves. Got 308 CS now, 5-2-1. Going to be looking at the individual gold are up about 6,000 gold individually over El Dragon. That's just an absurd amount of gold to be leading in one role. I mean, the other roles we can see are very
Not
favorable
respectable,
for Urgottem.
flashing away early here, so that for the next 5 minutes won't be available. And as Baron's coming up, I'm seeing some pings over top of Baron, and I can understand why. P7 has so much pressure in these side lanes as he's hit level 7 just now, has teleport available, so that won't be an issue in terms of getting the two teams together and countering that stand united and being able to move over at the same time. And see why they might be aggressively trying to look for at least something, at least a response from the side of the old Donner Gotham Reformed. That is going to be not respectable. Burning lasagnas early on, now getting stunned up. That is a lot of damage from Chesky, getting not respectable early on. Power Stand United comes through. Here comes all
This is
the
just going to be
damage onto the
P7 end
counter,
of the
and
game.
it's absolutely incredible. But P7, as you were saying, will pick up another inhibitor. So even though it's over a higher trade up in kills in favor of Urgottem Reformed, they are now missing 2/3 of their base as Blue Lake's coming back in. Will miss that deadly flourish. Another, that's Nexus Tower first going down. With this wave still alive, Lucifer trying to find the way onto P7. Heal used by Blue Lake. Keep himself alive for now. There it is, shut down. Going over to the side of Urgottem forward onto that again, onto Blue Lake. And I feel like it's a relatively even-ish trade given the circumstances, but I mean they're sitting on only about half of a Nexus tower left, and with both side lanes going to be pushing with the super minions. I
Yeah, is right. I think that the objective on the map that sets up for P7 to do all of this split pushing, Baron available means that it demands a response from Urgon Reformed. But putting 4 members towards that, putting even the Stand United in, means that P7's just free reign to demolish these towers quickly. He's able to take the tier 3 bot, the inhib, even one of the 2 Nexus towers, and just about half of the second Nexus tower. So, with all of that happening, I believe it was a 4-for-2 in favor of Urgottem Reformed, able to at least get more kills in the fight, dissuade any sort of Baron ideas that might have been coming through at the beginning. But we're right back onto the same play again. This time though, P7 group with the team.
Yeah, as I was going to point that out already, and the Stand United already available. Final Spark does come through, just a little bit of poke, and now you're going to see one Lucifer as the Stand United comes through. Chessie gone low, Chessie gone down, shut down onto the support. However, I don't believe that'll matter too much. Oh, but in return, P7XJ lands the Super Mega Death Rocket, gets a lot of damage out there. Not quite over yet, as Blue Lake is still alive, gets that double kill. Not quite over just yet, though. It's currently sitting at a 3v2 in favor of Urgottem Reform, but P7 is still alive, so a lot of damage available for both teams, as I'd say both their main carries are still alive. But we do have the next Hextech Drake coming up, and on Soul Point, we don't have either of the smites on the rift just yet, but we have a bunch of red pings going over this over this upcoming Hextech Drake, and well, that just became live right now. So with BA7, XTA not being seen here, gets a lot of damage onto Outro. Won't get the kill though. So said no smites available. So this is definitely a larger risk coming through. With the Hex Kicks, maybe they'll come over in time. Hold on, that's very low, not respectable. And that's 2 kills going over in favor of TT Passion. And that will be both teams now on Soul Point, and the shutdown going on to Chessie. And a really well executed fight from the side of TT Passion.
Yeah, and this is going to be Baron as well. We'll see if there's any contest that comes through for Urgottem Reformed. But with the Baron buff, just imagine how much power you're getting in the side lanes from P7. I mean, we saw what he can do without the Baron buff, but now we'll see if 911 is too far forward trying to zone off the enemy team.
Actually, hold on. You were saying a 911 being a little bit too far forward, but getting sunned up by the event horizon was T1 Lucifer. And for a second there, I thought maybe it might have turned back around, but you know, the safe play being used by the side of GT Passion, and understandably so, as they do have all 5 members with Baron on their team as they take the tier 2 mid tower, and looking close and likely that the
Whoa!
Whoa! Okay,
That was rude.
That was a near full health outplay button from Chessie. However, P7 XTA won't quite be locked down just yet, as that mid tower does come through on that inhibitor tower, but on the side lane now, P7 XTA getting low. P7 XTA not quite finding the kill. Will get the one in return, but at what cost? There it is, a double kill going over to Slab around Ash, but kill in return going on to Blue Lake just now, so not over just yet, and with a lot of damage still available for the side of Urgottem Reform. Gets that first kill. 2 more kills onto Jin. Looking at what I believe was a triple kill, if we get confirmation on that just yet. No, in fact, maybe a double kill, but the minions picking up that mid lane inhibitor. So still going to be a lot of, oh, it was a triple kill. There's still a lot of pressure going to be coming through those super minions as 2 more inhibitors go down in favor of TT Passion.
Yeah, we're in a really strange game state right now where it's very easily throwable for TT Passion. Obviously, they've broken all 3 inhibs. Bot lane inhib right now is standing as it has respawned, but they've broken the base into pieces. But on the other side, the mid lane inhib is exposed. So Urgottem Reformed with a really good fight could
Oh,
end up turning to counter ending.
whoa, I think that may have been Chessie just being killed there if he did get hit by that light binding. I'm actually not sure how that didn't land, in all honesty, but getting a bit lucky there, and considering at such low reward for his positioning, perhaps a bit overzealous there, or optimistic, or whatever sort of wisdom is. Chessie is kind of maybe a bit of connection issues as comes through. And there was actually a pause there. I'm going to assume, because the way that look, the chat had said that the pause was canceled, and hold on, that is going to be Stand United used by Eldragon trying to keep Outro alive. So that is a very big global ultimate now no longer being used. However, they're looking to keep going for this 4th shot. Takes a nice chunk out of P7 as he goes low, hops away. Deadly Flourish not quite landing there, and yep, I'm curtain call a little bit overkill there, but they've committed 3 members to this bot lane, and so with that, TT Passion is going to say, okay, we're going to run through the mid lane here, but I don't believe they have enough pushing power to take even this Nexus tower, so no exposed Nexus just yet. And I'd say overall, very good result for the side of Urgottem Reformed.
Yeah, getting that kill onto P7 will relieve some pressure of this. Hextech Drake coming up in 50 seconds is soul point for both teams. So this is going to be the big one. This fight should decide the game. I think that with the Hextech soul, Jin and Lux become a little bit too much with the poke. You're just able to land one ability, and that's the end.
Yeah, and especially with how such a long range it is. However, not respectable might be going down early on here, as there goes the Zhonya's used early, and there's Chesty getting the kill onto not respectable. So early on, 1 kill already used, and teleport's coming
Okay,
out from
teleport.
P7. Yeah, he's just going to look to maybe end this on his own, as the mid lane inhibitor has been taken down. Now the second Nexus turret's down. P7 though won't quite get taunted there, does go down, but at what cost? We have an open Nexus now and potentially a soul point going over to the side of TT Passion.
Yeah, P7, just too much pressure on the map. That's going to be Hextech Soul. And I said that it's a little bit too much to deal with if you've got Jin and Lux with the Hextech Soul. But needless to say, Graves that's fed with the Hextech Soul is going to be almost unplayable. I do want to recognize that we've got 2 more Flame Horizons that have entered the game right now. Chesky has gone 100 CS up on Not Respectable. And on the other side, Lucifer is over to 100 CS up on Shake Fake. So we got a lot of big CS gaps across the map. Blue Lake not quite there yet, but kind of approaching that as well. So this could be a 4 Flame Horizon game potentially if it goes long enough for this Jin to farm. 12-1-6, so kind of an unsung hero of this game, Blue Lake,
Oh,
is
I
if
wouldn't
they
say he's
can turn it
unsung.
around.
I mean, he got a triple kill that last time out and is doing a large chunk of damage. However, that is okay. Wow, 2-shot from Chesky gets the stun on the Invent Horizon, and there goes not respectable. With Baron coming up in the next few seconds. Yeah, and 2 inhibitors missing. That is my official assessment. Is yeah.
It's not good.
No.
It's going to be difficult for Urgottem Reform to deal with this. They might just get 5v4'd in the base. They got to defend the
They've
Nexus.
got an open Nexus as well. That's Eldragon getting very low. Eldragon going down. We have to feel surely that's the game as T1 Lucifer trying to find his way onto the enemy ADC. Blue Lake does manage to get a kill in return. So that's now currently a 2v4, but I don't know. Blue Lake 1 auto attack, 2. 4th shot available, not quite. That'll be his support going down, and with the Unbreakable up, that will be enough to stop the damage coming through and win the game for TT Passion. 1-0 is the series score after a very hairy affair in game between these two.
Yeah, so game 1 of many backs and forths. We saw a lot of pressure coming out from P7 almost the entire game on that. Graves definitely going to be the strongest member of the match. Even at 6, 7, and 4, it did not matter. It was a case of just putting that pressure on the map, able to take a bunch of the base with the tier 3s in the bot and top lane, as well as the first Nexus tower all alone. And that really allowed the rest of the team to go for the things like the Hex Soul. They got a Baron buff off of that, and they were able to convert on that despite it being a kind of a slugfest near the end of the game there, and a valiant effort from Urgon Reformed. It's going to be TT Passion up 1-0 on the series.
Yeah, and what a relatively if this is what we have for the rest of the series, we might have to strap ourselves in for a long one. And well, you all who have currently tuned in might want to do the same here, as we're going to send it to a break. But when we come back, we'll have the draft for game 2 for this round of 16 sophomore playoffs here on Runeterra Academy.
There's no medicine for what you put in. I don't know, and I don't know why, but I let it in. For that I repent, and I don't know, and I don't know why. Like I was Hypnotized by parasitic lies. I'm crawling inside. I'm crawling inside. I'm crawling inside. Now here we go, you're dedicated, you're celebrated. When you break me right down, you're killing me, premeditated. I'm devastated. Leave me on the ground. Like I was saved from the shit that you said. Wish I could change the words that you said. There's no medicine, there's no medicine. Your words crawl into my ears tonight. I'm crawling hypnotized by parasitic lies. I'm crawling inside. I'm crawling inside. I'm crawling inside. Playing mind games, manipulating me, operating me, surgical eyes. You sedate me, drunk on a memory, then it all fades. And I read you only for what I don't know. Why'd you whisper nothing when you need something? But you wanna stay for what I don't know. But then your words crawl into my ears tonight. I'm crawling inside. Hypnotized by parasitic lies. I'm crawling inside. I'm crawling inside. I'm crawling inside.
Welcome back, everyone, for game 2 of this sophomore feature match in the round of 16 in playoffs between TT Passion and Urgottem Reformed. And after that first game, Tiger, how much money do we have down that Graves doesn't make it through this this first round of bans?
Oh, I'd say that's probably a safe bet. I think that you are wanting to make sure that that pick is unavailable, or at least have something better to deal with it, right? I mean, they had a situation last game where, uh, whatever the situation was, they wanted to get into team fights and have Shen go to them, which was fine, but you can't have Graves on the other side of the map and then allow
Ooh.
him to just take your entire structures one by one every time that you go to a play. So potentially going to be looking to just take a different pick into it this time. Urgottem reform not actually banning that away, so Graves still available. Was a good counter pick to Shen, I think, to be sure. But we'll see if that's going to have any priority here in game number 2.
Yeah, and on the side selection swap, we've got TT Passion now picking first, and they're prioritizing that Trundle. And I know Shake Bake's a little bit of a played a bit of Trundle, but perhaps not exactly. At least in recent patches, not the most powerful jungler, but still overall gets that extra utility, especially with those early ganks on the pillar. Volibear will be the response from Urgottem Reformed.
Yeah, I think that Volibear is a pretty strong jungler right now if used correctly. Has some early power in the game. Urgottem Reform maybe looking at taking away this Jhin as well. They had the best performance of the game for Urgottem Reform last game was in this bot lane from Blue Lake, but this time around going to need a little bit more help from the team. I think that Braum was a fine answer, got to block some of the shots some of the time, wasn't able to actually counter the Jhin, but did a decent job of at least protecting the teammates for a while. And Misfortune, maybe some more early game power here in the bot lane.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, that Misfortune being able to get a lot of early damage out, especially being able to on the second part of that the Q. I've named evades me now. I know I've heard it a million times, but double up, yeah. I don't know. Brain no big, but yeah, as it were, the answer to that will then also be Janna. So a little bit of a similar situation in the bottom lane coming through for the second game.
Yeah, I think that Janna Jhin going to have some similar qualities to Nami Jhin. I don't think that it's exactly the same, but Janna offers a decent bit of counter engage as well with the tornado, some disengage with the monsoon. But I think that just being able to set the Jhin roots up is going to be the biggest part of the kit, and Janna can do that more effectively, I think, than Nami from level 1 with the tornadoes. I think that you're waiting until level 6 on Nami to get that effect. Could be a Soraka mid locked in here for Urgottem Reform.
At least I would assume that's Soraka mid. Obviously, it's most likely going to be Janna or Soraka going into that mid lane, or maybe mid lane hasn't even been selected yet, and you throw Janna or Soraka up into the top lane. But yeah, we've got a double enchanted composition. But what I'm a little bit concerned by with the option to opt into the double enchanter is the potential lack of damage, as currently Jhin really is the only form of damage on the side of Urgottem Reform's composition. So we'll have to wait to see who they decide to lock in for on R5 to really round out this composition. But yeah, they've decided to be daring with it in this game too.
Yeah, I think that it could be something that is a champion like Tryndamere or an Aurelia top would be awesome here for Urgottem Reformed. They would be a little bit lacking. Oh, it's going to be Tryndamere taken away by TT Passion here. Going to be allowing the split push to come through once again in favor of P7 XTA. So we'll see if that's going to be enough to win the game 2, as it was in game number 1. The Blitzcrank hover all the way down.
I'm surely not, right? Like, I'm not holding my breath for this one because this would be absolutely ridiculous if it does go through. But whereas they're counting down, okay, it's Tom Kinch, right? No, it's set. Okay, last, very close there to being Tom Kinch. So they'll get the set coming through, and then as we get a full look of our compositions, I don't dislike Double Enchanter as an idea, but at the same time, if you look at Urgottem Reform's composition, I know I've already said this, but where's the damage coming from? I mean, Jin maybe, but he's not exactly the most big consistent damage dealer, not something like an Aphelios or a Jinx kind of carry.
Yeah, I think Volibear and Set do a decent chunk of damage, but it's not anything to write home about, really. So I think that it's going to be very difficult for Urgottem Reform this game to deal with Trundle and Tryndamere, especially just running straight at their enchanters potentially. I mean, you can put Set in front of them, but I don't think that you can totally stop them from getting through. I also think that the split push is once again an option. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be utilized. There's a lot of ways for TT Passion to go about using the team comp that they've picked up this game. I think that the Misfortune is a really nice switch from the Jinx, because we saw in the last game that it wasn't really the power of Jinx that won them the game, or the power of Veigar. Although I think Chessie's Veigar was very good, but it was clearly P7 getting the pressure in the side lanes that was winning the game. So switching up what's going on the rest of the map seems to make a lot of sense here for TT Passion. So I like what they've done with the draft.
Yeah, it's a nice adjustment, especially since it's still a very similar sort of theme to the game one composition with the split push. However, the slight difference here that I would like to point out is the fact that TT Passion decided to go Victor instead of the Veigar, and that extra bit of wave clear can definitely put a lot of pressure around the map as well, being able to just clear those waves extremely quickly as the game goes on. So I think overall it's even a step up from their last draft.
Yeah, Victor brings a lot of different things than Veigar. Veigar definitely good at kind of engaging almost with the Predator plus Event Horizon. Can just try to run up and drop a CC that you can't get out of. But on the other side, Victor is going to be a champion where you're not really wanting to run into them all that much. You want to get to where you're going and then set up and have the other team run into you, which is something that Veigar does okay, but Victor does much better. So I think that this works well, especially comboed with the Misfortune. I'll be looking for them to get to objectives first and set themselves up so that they can have the other team forced to run into them to contest, and they can start dropping all of these ultimates layered, the Chaos Storm, the Bullet Time, the Glacial Fissure, and once you get all three of those layered, then there's a lot of CC on top of all that damage. So that's going to be the sort of win condition I see for TT Passion. But on the other side, Urgottem Reformed, a lot of healing. They're going to be looking to siege out. If they get Baron, it'll be a situation that's very similar to last game, where they can just utilize that Baron to push forward and poke people out. They can sustain up even more effectively with this Soraka-Janna combo. And they can even dive a little bit with the Volibear available to them as well. So I'll be excited to see how Urgottem Reformed want to use these new champions that they've selected.
Yeah, and like I said, overall, I don't dislike the idea that they've gone with. If they wanted to do this, I'm a little bit concerned that they made their AD carry Jhin. You know, just because, I mean, he's got the burst damage, he's a bit more utility, but I think if these fights take too long to conclude, they just might be caught out without any sort of damage through them, and I'm not sure. I mean, perhaps Set is all right into Tryndamere in those side lanes. That's honestly not my area of expertise. Oh, hold on. Victor locked in first for the side of TT Passion.
Yeah, so Chessie and P7 actually switched spots. So I don't know if that means that they plan on sending Chessie to the top lane with this Victor, but if it does, then that means it's going to be P7 in the mid lane on Tryndamere into probably a Soraka, I'm guessing, and that's going to feel very strong. Once you get to level 6 in that lane, then you just instantly dive turret every time that you get your ult off of cooldown, and there's nothing Soraka can do about it. So I mean, it's going to have to be some help coming out from Lucifer, I would expect, in order to make sure that Not Respectable doesn't just get chain dove. And I mean, even with Trundle on the map, you don't even have to have the Tryndamere ultimate to necessarily feel comfortable trying to go in for a dive if you've got a gank coming through from Shake Bake on the Trundle. So we'll see if that ends up being the case here. But some spicy role swaps coming through here from TT Passion.
Yeah, and they've done this all throughout the year, where in the middle of series they'll swap around positions in between games as necessary. And yeah, and looking at their team sheet before the game, I was like, huh, interesting. But I'm really glad that we get to see it used already in this best of 5. And as you were saying, the adaptation of this draft to then swamp the solo laners around, I really like it as well.
Yeah, so with this adaptation, I don't think that it changes the late game plan. I think that you still probably want P7 in a side lane, but just for the farming purposes, if you just isolate it to the top lane matchup as well, that means Chessie's going to have the range into melee matchup against Eldragon's set. And I think that that's going to go decently. I think that Set's a lot harder to kill, and I don't know if that's even enough gank setup that you can go after him, because Set can sometimes take the 1v2s and go for kills. So I think that Eldragon's going to actually be an important factor in this game, because when you look at it, Set, you're looking at a champion that you normally expect to be a good frontliner. But I have a sneaking suspicion that you might see a sort of split push build with a Hullbreaker and a Blade of the Ruin King. And if that's the case, then maybe that matches P7 more effectively than anything that we saw the last game, and potentially makes it so that they can play out their win conditions a little bit more effectively. So we'll see if that is what they opt to go for. But an interesting draft coming out from Urgottem Reform, but then we see that spice in the champ select portion from TT Passion. So both sides switching it up a little bit from last game.
Yeah, and honestly, this is one of the reasons why I'm a fan of casting these lower elo matches, because you get so you have players a lot more willing to go off meta and find any sort of the advantage they can through just some unexpectedness. And we've definitely seen it on full display here. But before we send it to a break, Tyre, who do we have down for game 2?
Well, I think that P7 showed a lot of power on that Graves in game 1. I think Tryndamere's a similar style champ. I'm gonna stick with T2 Passion, but I'm really uncertain about what
Yeah.
this game's gonna look like.
Yeah. I I am as uncertain as you are, but we're going to have to wait for about 2 minutes until we come back from the spectator delay to bring you game 2 between TT Passion and Urgottem Reformed. Don't go anywhere.
The lies I tell myself help push it away, and I'm chasing whispers before they all just fade. watch it fall to dust. I will find a this porcelain mirage may start to break. Each piece a reminder, every single little mistake. So how can I leave it all behind when I refuse to watch it fall to dust? Tell me why it won't ever be the same. I'll burn it all, no matter who's to blame. I'll find a way. I'll find a way. And every time I close my eyes, a little less of you remains. I know you're slipping further from me now. Am I too far away? Tell me why I won't ever feel the same. I'll try everything until you're back again. I'll find a way back to you.
And we are back and loaded in for game 2 of this playoff series between TT Passion and Urgottem Reformed. And I honestly don't have no idea what I'm looking at with this game.
Yeah, and to add to the no idea that we have of what's going on in this game, it's first strike misfortune. So that's not a rune that I normally expect to see on the misfortune. But maybe feeling strong about being able to land those double ups onto the enemy bot lane, get some gold income in addition to what you would normally see. I would normally expect to see a misfortune run either like Comet, press the attack, or lethal tempo. But this game going to be first strike, so we'll see if that's going to be an additional gold lead coming in favor of Slap That Ash here in the bot lane. I would like to see what all 6 of the chosen runes are. I think that might give an I think it's gonna be like biscuits. It's gonna be like cosmic insight, maybe free boots. Is an option as well.
Features.
But we'll have to keep an eye on that as we get into the later stages of this game.
Oh, ooh, P7. He doesn't have flash.
Yes. All right, so
Oh,
Oh,
we gotta.
this is a rule book thing because El Dragon was in the top lane spot in the LCS
Oh.
order, and and went immediately to the mid lane. So they're going to check out on the lane swapping, but I think that uh, knowing the rule book is one of the powers of TT Passion here. So we'll see if they're going to be able to show it. Hopefully we get back into the game shortly, but I don't have the rules memorized myself, but I know that that's what's being called here.
Yeah, I know if those who are familiar with the amateur scene that they'll know that it varies from league to league and series to series. I know sometimes there is a rule that will state that at the start of the game they will have to go back. I'm not sure what the no, not go back, go to the lane that or position that they were picked in the client, but it, like I said, it varies from league to league, and also the disciplinary action also will vary. So we'll have to wait and see what really comes up from these two teams. But until then, I would imagine that flash off P7. Well, we're back live. Okay, so it looks like it's perfectly all right then. I would imagine the way they're
Yeah,
playing this out.
yeah, I think that the ruling is most likely that once you've drafted your champions, you're free to use them however you like. So you can do strats like the roaming Janna top that we saw early on in 12-1 and 12-2. uh, and I think that that's probably for the best. In my opinion, definitely going to be different leagues taking different approaches to it, but that does mean that El Dragon's going to get this matchup into P7's Tryndamere at least for the first few levels.
Speaking of this match, I've got Shakebake looking for the gank. Eldragon flashes away, and with the Volibear coming close in tow, won't really be able to. He'll just dissuade the regank there, and flash down. So both well, I guess mid laners, even though they're kind of flopped around on the right side on the portraits, which is going to might be a little bit confusing in terms of comparing timers as this game goes on. But yes, both mid laners have no flash.
I would argue that on the scoreboard, you should swap El Dragon and Not Respectable, as Not Respectable is playing the Soraka in the top lane at the beginning of this game. But I think that that's probably
Oh,
a minor
hold on.
issue
Speaking
compared
of
to a
this
gank.
Soraka, we've got a gank coming towards the top side. That's going to be Chessie having to flash away. Lucifer following it up, though, going low. T1 Lucifer getting the first blood, actually going onto the Soraka there. And a little bit of an extra flash from Not Respectable, just for good measure, I suppose. But yeah, first blood to Urgottem Reformed.
Yeah, Not Respectable picking that up should be able to get towards the
Oh,
Mythic.
but over to the mid lane, we've got no flashes. El Dragon here. That being said, Facebreaker will get the stun. Going low now, El Dragon will keep himself alive for a little bit longer. Won't be enough, though, as P7XJ gets that kill. And actually, 911 getting low. Has to call an ambulance, and it will be for himself just about now, as he's sitting on about 1/5 of a health bar there. So really good stuff from the bot lane. And hold on, T1 Lucifer will regank. Here's P7. It goes down to about a 5th health. And as El Dragon comes here, it won't be enough to find the kill. And he'll actually die. Ghost used. He might be able to find his way from El Dragon. But over to the bot lane immediately. We've got another gank coming through. Ultra will be marked up and taken down. As we've got another kill towards the bot lane, going over in favor of TT Passion off that gank.
Sunbrazing, you do not mess with P7XTA. Trying to go in, Lucifer had the health advantage of 100% to about 40% there at the beginning.
Oh, hold on. I'm going to cut you off here. We've got another fight coming through. It's not quite over from 911. We were saying that he was calling an ambulance for himself, but turns out flipped around, but not going to pursue that any further. Sorry. We go. It was a bit we had a moment.
We had a moment.
There was a moment.
We had to deal with the concussive blows landing onto Blue Lake, but going back to that fight in the mid lane, I think. Oh, now we've got the
Yeah,
swap towards the top side of the map.
I don't.
Uh,
It looks like they're just back off of each other. So yes, fight in the mid lane. Go. We might
yeah.
be.
So P7 actually was able to fully kill off Lucifer before El Dragon was able to affect the fight. And now looking for El Dragon.
Oh yeah, I mean this is an incredible trade going over to in favor of P7. So once more, we're seeing why he was ranked number 2 across all divisions in the top lane role already in these first 2 games. As yeah, I mean he's stomped. He absolutely stomped in game 1, and now currently in game 2 is really starting to run things. Even though we're only just 6 minutes in.
Yeah, already 2 kills. Already got those tier 2 boots as well. Now getting this matchup that he wanted at the beginning of the match.
Yeah, and as you were saying, now that he's hit level 6, will be able to pretty much look to be able to go in whenever he wants onto the Soraka's. Now the lane assignments have found it in a favorable condition for himself. We'll use all those Fury stacks though, so we'll use that extra crit percentage that he has available to him. But oh wow, it's not. I was about to throw it over to you, Tiger, but it doesn't look like they want to give us any moment of respite.
Yeah, so I think that a secondary effect of picking this Tryndamere mid that I hadn't thought about at the beginning of the draft is that right now we're seeing Shake Bake counter jungling pretty effectively. Now, this hasn't been a result that's led to like a CS advantage or anything, but taking those camps away from Lucifer is going to be meaningful to some degree. Now, Shake
Speaking
Bake
of
with the gank.
Shake Bake, that being said, the showstopper will be flipped away to get him further away from the enemy team. Stunned up by the Gravfield, won't find the kill on the Shake Bake. Wish does get him a little bit more health though. P7 will have the invulnerability. And there it is, ultimate use does get yet a third kill going on to P7 XTA's Tryndamere.
Yeah, that was a good turret aggro juggle from the side of TT Passion, able to get the shots onto Shake Bake just so that he lived with 100 HP. Enough shots onto Chessie, survived the last shot with about 300, and then that allows the time for P7 to chase under the tower, get that damage off, get the kill, and get out alive.
Yeah, I mean, it really was an incredible work of team play to get that kill off, and especially because even though El Dragon eventually went down, having being killed there under his own tower, he played that. I mean, honestly, just about as good as he really could have, given the situation. And with that extra wish coming through, I thought for a moment there that they'd be able to turn it around, but yeah, no, overall, really great stuff from the side of TT Fashion.
Yeah, and starting to use that extra gold to pick up those items. Going to be looking at potentially a Gale Force here as my most expected. It's either that or Kraken Slayer that's going to be on this Tryndamere. I think that kind of leads into a situation where you can flex the Misfortune build around a little bit. Looks like it's still going to be a crit item though.
7 doesn't quite have his unkillable rage backup just, undying range backup just yet. So probably not looking for any sort of
He's got it
That
now.
being said, he's got it now. Showstopper used, and now that undying rage has been popped. Stun comes through. P7 going low. P7 going down as T1 Lucifer gets that shutdown. And we're looking at P7 XTA maybe having to throw in his P45 as a result. As respectable has the gank coming through. Shake Bake will just get the Rift Herald off, get that extra plate gold. They'll feel good onto the mid lane, onto Chessie.
Yeah, so picking up that kill in the top lane is going to be pretty huge here for T1 Lucifer. Going to be up about 25 CS, that's 6 camps in jungle terms, and in addition going to have that gold from finishing off the kill onto P7. So that means that if we look at the individual gold, That's 600 gold right now in favor of Lucifer. That's not like a huge advantage. Obviously, these 3 assists are helping out Shake Bake as well. But we're looking back on the other side of the map that P7's got about a 900 gold advantage. And this is pretty early on in the game, so it's not like anyone's got any insurmountable gold leads. But we're in the positions where they're starting to add up, and when you're not even on a full item yet, then that's a meaningful gold uh, lead in the matchup.
Yeah, and yeah, gold leads definitely become a lot less exaggerated as the game goes on. However, T1 Lucifer just might be caught out here. Will have to use his ultimate to get back over the ball and keep himself alive, and so that'll be a massive cooldown having already been used. And with the Hextech Drake now coming up, that's going to probably be TT Passion picking up the second uh, Drake of the game, and they're first.
Yeah, so that's going to feel nice getting that advantage early on, and then using it to pick up those drakes is always a way to push yourself towards the victory. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be the win condition they want to go for. It is Ocean Soul heal here, so that's going to be in addition to all of these enchanters. If it was picked up by Urgottem Reformed, that would just be a ton of healing. Anytime that you step out of combat, you're just full health again. But P7 has that ult.
He does, but El Dragon is also have lots of survivability himself. So even though he does have the ults available, T1 Lucifer is actually here, and on the proxy wave clearing, P7 looking a little bit caught out here as there it is. He's gone low. Undying Rage has been used, but will it be enough to find a kill? Wish comes down. Won't be enough. El Dragon gets that kill. So once again, a little bit too ambitious from the side of P7, and almost finding the kill on the return. Going over to Chessie, but just not quite enough.
Well, at least he was able to pick up a few Krugs with it. That's always nice. But now I think that we're in a spot where clearly P7 can be killed off in this game. Not going to be in a state like last game where you can't 1v1 him. Although it is taking a lot of
On
resources.
El Dragon going low, having already used that haymaker very dangerously low, as Chessie's going to majorly outrange him there. But going to lose more time in that top lane with a few more abilities, as that Unbreakable will prevent any sort of engage from the side of Urgottem Reform. But yeah.
Check out the mid lane. We got some more turret plates falling down in favor of P7. I mean, this has just been the story of the whole series, right? P7 going to take. Ooh, Jesse getting poked out by the
Chessie
Soraka.
getting poked out and actually straight over to the bot lane. We've got fights all over the map. Auto attack used, and there it is. Looks a little bit anticlimactic. That final auto attack from Not Respectable gets the solo kill on the Soraka, but here's P7. I mean, what's he going to do? Will manage to avoid getting snared up there, and I mean, there's not really much that Not Respectable can do there to keep himself alive, but still, solo kill onto the Soraka is not something you hear very often, and really incredible stuff. But straight over to the bot lane, we've got to fight that is actually getting a lot of value from the Glacial Augment there, and now here comes Blue Lake, who's full health. Shake Bake tries to flash back in, gets the stun on the T1 Lucifer, though Monsoon will be used to heal him right back up, and it's not over just yet. 911 will have to flash away. Still no kills just yet, but sitting on that fourth shot will be enough to get the kill on the Shake Bake. Gets the reload and is back here. But now Chessie will force the flash out of 2 members. T1 Lucifer trying to find his way onto Chessie. Wish not quite doing enough to keep him alive. Blue Lake now will be slowed up, taken down to about quarter health. Though a lot of these health bars on the side of Urgottem Reformed are looking low as well. So really touchy-feely here on out, and not quite completely over just yet, as that curtain call was used. Chessie just might be maybe caught. Okay, they'll stop that chase, but it was kind of, it's one that maybe they.
Yeah, that was a really nice Chaos Storm, actually.
P7 XTA. Okay, no, he's going to walk back in that one. It's not respectable. Comes to cover, but it was looking like he could threaten to kill onto El Dragon. But yeah, it was a nice Chaos Storm.
Yeah, and I think that kind of helped even it up. I thought that the bullet time did a lot of work at the beginning of the fight, but Lucifer just healed it back up, like you were saying. The monsoon takes him way back up in health, right back to almost full, and they have to kill him almost 3 times before he's actually dead. So I think that that's a lot of HP that was able to sustain through the front line, making sure that the rest of the team was in a safe spot. But now we're seeing some classic split pushing going through. 2 towers taken out by P7. The first one being in the mid lane, and now one top as well. Going to be in the 1v1 versus not respectable here.
Yeah, not exactly the most favorable 1v1 as the snare won't land, and with Undying Rage, the wish won't be enough to keep him alive. However, going straight over to the bottom lane, all this damage coming through. That is the first kill going down. 911 has the stopwatch, but I mean, really, it's only delaying the inevitable as 2 kills go over in favor of Urgottem Reform towards the bottom side of this map. But it looks like going to be a massive trade across, as that is the tier 3 top tower being taken for by P7. And so, I mean, initially what may have looked like a good trade, all of a sudden looking very dire from the side of Urgottem Reform. Flashing from El Dragon, though, will try to find his way onto P7. Flashed once more. Objective bounty claimed by T1 Lucifer. Blue Lake's also here. Find any potential kills. Shake Bake running as fast as he can, but all these slows will be enough to keep him away. And we got a really just a massive overall play across the entire map.
Yeah, so the dive bot yields 2 kills in a tower, but that stopwatch actually was pretty meaningful from 911, actually buying 2.5 more seconds for the push down mid and top to do the work onto the towers, almost taking out a Nexus tower as well. So it is another Drake going in favor of Urgottem Reform, but now they have to deal with super minions in the top lane. I think that this early in the game, taking the inhib, I mean, you get that damage on the Nexus tower, which is nice, but the issue is that you're just giving over more gold on the farm that you can pick up by killing off these super minions. So it's going to have to be utilized as a point of pressure on the map. Otherwise, you're just giving more gold over that you want to be able to pick up on the natural resources. But P7 definitely going to be a point of pressure of his own in the spot lane. Still doing the same work as before. 5 and 2 on the Tryndamere. Got that Kraken Slayer. Going to be doing a ton of DPS to all forms of objectives. Trying to steal away a little bit of a Gromp there as well. Invading this jungle, taking everything that he wants to take. He's kind of like Mundo. He's just going where he pleases.
Yeah, I mean, really, there's not a lot you can really do to stop P7 at the present moment. And with those Navori quick blades finished as well, he's going to be able to. He's going to be a bit more ballerina than actually what looks like a canonical warrior is.
Yeah, so now we're in the spot, taking a quick look at the gold. It's about 5,000 in favor of TT Passion.
P7's going to try to find his lands not respectable. Gets a decent chunk of damage down, though not quite finding the kill yet, and that is going to require a few teleports to come through and the rest of his team to aid him. And won't learn that ultimate just yet, and it will be enough to probably, yeah, we'll take that top lane tier 2 tower. Chaos Storm going to be used by Chesty, getting a little bit more poke out, though not really much more, and not able to get too much off of it.
Yeah, just getting that tower, though, is plenty good. Disengaging afterwards by threatening some more kills with the Chaos Storm. Baron's going to be coming up here in 10 seconds, so that's a definite threat that you could be expecting. But it looks like the bot tower is the call from TT Passion. They're just continuing to push towards these structures that are standing for Urgottem Reform, making sure that they're not able to walk out of their base without having to go through the enemy team.
Oh, that is a massive tornado, and a lot of CC has been used already. They will take the... Oh my gosh, hold on. L Dragon with the audacity to go in. Not respectable, getting that first kill onto 911. P7 in the back line hasn't been able to find the kills he needs, though. That's a shutdown going on to Blue Lake once more, and currently sitting in a 2-for-1. Looking really large from L Dragon twice now throughout this fight. Gets massive engages. L Dragon perhaps maybe not doing the biggest amount of damage in this fight, but it is a triple kill for himself and is the MVP of those 2 sets of fights on this set.
Yeah, 5-for-1 in favor of Urgottem Reformed, and this is just a great reminder that despite the power of the split push that's going on for TT Passion, they're not a better team fighting comp right now, and especially with the forced back from Slap that Ash flashing away from the engage from Lucifer there, and then trying to ult. But then just so much healing comes through as well from Not Respectable and Outro, so that it ends up being a situation where it's not possible to kill the 1v4ing Volibear. So Lucifer buying a bunch of space, that means that it's P7 alone in the backline, able to set up one kill, but ends up getting dropped at the end of that fight, which means that it's a very big win coming out from Urgottem Reform. They're able to get the 5-for-1. Not able to get any objectives off the back end of it, though, so that may be the point of solace here from the side of TT Passion.
Yeah, and speaking of objectives that they're picking up, getting that second Drake for themselves, and honestly, with how many breaks have been taken, how evenly split there are, unless we get another 42-minute marathon of a game, I don't imagine Soul will be on the cards this time around. But we've got pings going over to Baron, and yeah, trying to sneak it is TT Passion.
Yeah, I think that they should have a little issue doing this, although a nice blue ward going to spot it out.
Will it be enough? And actually not respectable. Hold on, getting completely bursted out by P7. The Wish does a lot of healing though. P7 not quite having used that Undying Rage just yet. Still alive, gets the kill onto Not Respectable early on in this fight. But there we go, L Dragon trying to find another engage, followed up by T1 Lucifer, despite being down a member. Can't gets that first kill onto Ash, but hold on in the backside, kind of off screen a little bit. That's a P7 on the backline there, getting yet another kill, and I believe that was a shutdown onto the Jhin. So a bit of a split fight, but going over in favor of TT Passion very favorably.
Yeah, and now they've got super minions coming through the bot side, B7 pushing on the top side, and they've got Wave coming towards the mid lane as well. They could look to end.
Yeah, they really could if they hold on. L Dragon gets the kill there onto this Victor, starting off this fight still alive, taking up a lot of damage. However, P7 still doing Tryndamere things early on here, but the respawn timers are coming up in time. L Dragon picks up another 2 kills. And this is where I'd like to apologize to L Dragon. I just got a word from production that they would rather go by she as opposed to he, and so I will correct myself there. But yeah, incredible stuff on that set from L Dragon.
Yeah, and a big haymaker. And I was wrong about the build as well. I mean, it's Stridebreaker. It's going to be Sterex Gage. So she's going to be the front liner here for the team fights. And I think that that's probably a good look, as right now for the side of Urgottem Reformed, they've just got team fights as their winning condition. They're having a hard time setting up any team fights, but when they do get these big 5v5s, it seems to be working well for them. So we'll see if Urgottem Reform can continue to fight back. But right now, exposed Nexus, no towers left on the map, 11 down, means that it's going to be very difficult to stall this one out for much longer.
Yeah, I think that's much for sure. However, not respectable will be slowed up. Not respectable will be going down. And with that, they're going to ping themselves over to the Baron on the side of TT Passion. I believe. I mean, I would have to think that if they do manage to take this Baron, uh, that that there's just going to be a little bit too much push for them to stop. However, T1 Lucifer kind of waiting in the wings will be spotted out by P7 though, and without that ult available, that's going to be Lucifer going down. No smite, no jungler, no way to steal away this Baron. That's TT Passion picking up a Baron buff for themselves. And with two members of Urgottem Reform down, they just might look to end without even resetting.
Yeah, and that's a huge level difference actually. P7 level 16 there fighting off the level 12 Lucifer. Going to be in a much better spot there. Not to mention all of the item advantages already 3.5 plus the tier 2 boots versus just 2 for the Volibear. Now into the base we go.
Yeah, going in P7, taking a little bit too much damage here early on, but there goes El Dragon once more. And you were saying with the 5v5 doing a lot of damage. Blue Lake not quite finding that kill just yet, but will be kept alive by his allies. Straight over to the back lane. Ash going down on the Misfortune. Bit of a strange mix-up. There's Blue Lake flashes forward on the fourth shot. Gets the kill, and the inhibitor hasn't even gone down yet either. So still with only one inhibitor up. We got the teleport used by Chessie, though, perhaps trying to find that inhibitor for himself, get that extra bit of pressure. Not speaking of pressure, getting it now, but it's gone low, and I don't believe it'll be enough as Blue Lake is still alive. And yeah, Chessie trying to find a completely empty base, but just not able to, having committed that teleport to the cause.
Yeah, it's so hard to actually take the rest of the base. I mean, with the 5-man group to protect the base from Urgon Reformed, you have to walk into it if you want to end the game. So right now, just keeping this Nexus alive is the goal for Urgottem Reformed. Get those inhibs to respawn, then maybe you can contest. Lucifer may be thinking about going to try to steal this Drake, but I don't think that this is going to be the best situation to do so.
No,
Still
especially
only the third Drake of the game that's going to be picked up by TT Passion, so can wait to go towards the next one before it's going to be Soul. But it's just a matter of time before the objectives on the map are going to draw Urgottem Reformed out of the base. And that's the moment that I'll be looking for P7 to strike once again.
yeah, I mean, really, even though it's been a valiant effort from the side of Urgottem Reform, the simple truth of the situation is that they don't have any objectives left. However, El Dragon finds an incredible engage once more. That being said, without the inhibitor, this fight's still going on. El Dragon flashing away, she's going low, and that will finally be going down. Hold on. P7 uses the Undying Rage, trying to find all the auto attacks onto the Nexus, jumping everywhere, flipping around, and that is the game. And it is a bit sneaky from P7XTA, who gets that Nexus down, and it's a 2-0 advantage going over to TT Passion as we head into game 3.
Beyblade let it rip. It's spin to win for P7, just going around that Nexus like it's not even there. Terrain is no issue for Tryndamere, just going to be popping all the way around that. Not going to be bothered by 4 members of the enemy team. Takes out Blue Lake on the way to finishing that Nexus off. And once again, the pressure on the map from P7 proves too much to handle for Urgottem Reform. They're going to have to find some way to deal with that going into game number 3, but they've just come up empty on the answers so far.
Yeah, and I it's going to be a little bit tough, but I think we've really got a nice demonstration, even though Ergon Reformed are down 2-0 in the series, but about how just incredible these two top laners have been. Because even though you see P7 obviously running the show, I mean El Dragon in that last game is really with those engages really what kept Ergon Reformed in it for as long as they were.
Yeah, I think that some of the engages from Eldragon, both Eldragon and Lucifer actually were pretty solid, going on towards the back line and buying a lot of space for their enchanters to just do some work on the healing. And we saw flashes there of things that were pretty effective from Urgottem Reform, but it was just a little bit too little too late. And I think that going into game number three, potentially they want to stick with a sort of team fight look. But if they do that, I think that they're going to have to play out the early game a little bit differently so that they make sure not to give over so many towers early on. I think that that's a big reason why we've seen P7 getting so much of this individual gold leads. And that's been translated into being an unstoppable force on side lanes of the map.
And with that note, we're going to send it to a break. That being said, when we come back, we will have the draft of Game Three, and if it's anything like the draft of this past Game Two, I would not want to miss it. So we'll see you then when we're ready.
You were on the right track, you were on the right path. And black door in the forest isn't here to taunt us, cause it's going nowhere. You gotta move on, cause shadows in the dark are always coming towards you. Red eyes in the night, you put them out of sight. Don't be paralyzed, move on to Nirvana or Shangri-La. Trees, branches, leaves, they're covering the skyline, blocking off the sunlight, making new like midnight. White house on the right, it calls you to the light, put it out of sight. Need to try and see the forest from the trees. Don't be paralyzed, move on to Nirvana or Shangri-La.
And we are back for game 3 in a decisive or potentially decisive match point between TT Passion and Urgottem Reform. TT Passion, obviously only one win away from claiming this victory in the round of 16 and getting the sweep over Urgottem Reformed. However, Urgottem Reformed did I must have liked what they saw in their last game as they got side selection and decided to stay on red side.
Well, I'm not sure if it's so much that they liked what they saw last game or they feel like they can't give Red Side back over after what happened in game number 1. But whatever the case, Urgottem Reform sticking on this red side means that they're going to be looking to get a counter pick potentially in the top lane, and we'll see if that's going to be enough to deal with what we saw from TT Passion in games 1 and 2 with this sort of split push setup where P7 is going to be on a champion where he can take towers and extreme speeds and just push towards the victory conditions early on in the game and create a lot of threats on the map.
And speaking of creating a lot of threats on the map, first pick is Rek'Sai for TT Passion. Obviously, that very powerful early game jungler being claimed, and they just might look to snowball an early lead once more.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense based on what we've seen from them so far. Rek'Sai, definitely one of the strongest picks that we've seen out of the jungle from Shake Bake. So we'll see if that ends up being a pivotal champion in this match. I like the Nocturne pickup here for Urgottem Reformed. I think Nocturne's one of the stronger junglers you can pick up in competitive play. Being able to turn off the lights is a pretty big deal, especially when you're not in a situation where everyone's sitting in the same room and cheat off of the other computers. You basically have to use your comms effectively when you're nearsighted to be able to know, all right, where's the Nocturne going? Can we fight him off? What's the situation? How many enemy team members are in the area? But at the same time, we're getting the Braum run back from TT Passion. It's been effective for them so far in this series. And interestingly, we're seeing the AD carry priority dropping in this series for Urgottem Reform.
Yeah, Urgottem Reformed. And a bit understandably so. That being said, Tristana was banned out in the first 2 games, and here we are now. That's going to be, that'll be Tristana picked up for that Ashe. I know it's going to sound strange. A person with Ashe in their name doesn't actually really play all that much Ashe, and actually had a lot of presence. Speaking of Ashe, God, this is going to be so terrible to cast. We've got Ashe the player on blue side, and on red side we have the champion Ashe. Oh dear. But either way, one thing that went kind of under the radar is that Volibear Nocturne, flex potential.
I guess that Nocturne is potentially a flex mid lane that we've seen before, but my most likely expectation is Volibear top, Nocturne jungle. I think that's generally what you look at when you see those 2 champions on the map. I guess Tristana could be a flex as well, but I don't know how much of the Tristana that the solo laners of TT Passion have played. And I say solo laners, and what I mean by that is the people who are going to be in the solo lanes this game, because they do like to swap their players around a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So you never know.
Yeah, and funnily enough, not even around. Ooh, Diana. Okay, we've got the all the flex picks now coming out from Urgottem Reformed. I mean, most likely you'd have to think Diana mid, Nocturne jungle, Volibear top, but I mean, between the 3 of them, I mean, they can really go anywhere they please.
I think that they're gonna have 3 junglers this game. That's the strategy.
3 smites.
They gotta go to all the quadrants of the jungle. Everyone gets 1 quadrant, so that way Rek'Sai only has 1 quadrant of jungle to work with, right?
And when you have those extra smites, this is when you lock in Kindred at R5, right? Obviously.
Yeah, kindred support, right? Because
Yeah. No, Kindred mid, right? And then Kindred collects the mid waves and then moves to wherever the Mark spawns, right?
oh
Obviously.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. It must be
Oh,
Diana bot with that. Oh my
okay.
gosh.
Wow. Zed locked in for TT Passion, trying to make a statement in this game 3 and close out win style.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing that we're gonna see P7 playing the Zed because we got the Tryndamere and the Graves banned away. Could be the Tristana as the powerful split pusher this game, but just going for an all-in assassin. This is super early game focus from
Oh.
TT Passion. I'm fully expecting a 5v5 at level 1.
I mean, really, that's really all you can expect from this series at this point. As Anivia gets locked in R5 for Urgottem reformed, we have yet another. I mean,
I guess it must be Anivia support, right?
most likely. Then then again, Volibear support isn't the worst. So Anivia mid, because Anivia is pretty reliant on levels, and I have no idea. We'll just have to wait and to see when we get into the in the client draft. I mean, usually when you think of client draft, it's just rounding up some points, getting some final thoughts down before we go to the spectator delay. But this is by far possibly the most interesting spectator draft I have ever casted, and even just seen in general.
This is kind of funny that you mentioned the Volibear support because way back in the day in season 6, before Volibear got reworked, I used to play Volibear support. That was like my main before he got reworked. I was like, all right, so basically I'll pick him if I see anything that's got a dash. I can knock them down with my E. I can flip them, and then we get a big bite and do all the damage. But I think that it's a lot harder to work with a Volibear support since the rework. I mean, I've seen a few things where you go like max Sky Splitter and then go with like an AP build, but that's like way fringe stuff. Although if you're going Anivia support, then you're going to fringe stuff anyways. But I think that that's a little bit more arguable as a champion that you would have in a support role. Got a little bit more setup. If you can put down a good wall, then that can make it very difficult to play around for the other team. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. But I really don't know how the lane plays out of Ashe Anivia versus Tristana Braum. So I look forward to seeing if both of the sides want to go for a little bit of limit testing here.
Yeah, and with that note, Chessie is back in the top lane, and it is a top lane Nocturne.
Okay.
Well, currently it's going to be Eldrad. Considering how incredible, since we do have confirmation that the players are allowed to swap around roles and away from where they are in lined up, it might not actually be a top lane Nocturne. However, I mean, honestly, I don't know. This is we can only speculate until we get it at this point, really.
Yeah, well, I think that top lane Nocturne makes sense, but in all of this hype around the Urgottem reform draft, we've kind of glossed the fact that Chessie is playing Lissandra top, which is a little bit unusual, but a lot less unusual than some of the things that we're seeing with like an Anivia support. Going a Nocturne top, definitely a little bit less typical as well. Going to be getting those levels faster though, so I think that solo lane Nocturne makes sense because you want to get to that level 6 as quickly as you can. I would expect to see a lot of flexing between the lanes as well, trying to go for some roams on this Nocturne. You definitely want to start looking for some kills once you hit that level 6. I think that we could actually see a lot of ganks towards the mid and top side of the map as well. I would be hesitant to gank a bot lane where I don't really know how the lane's supposed to play. but definitely with 2 assassins in the mid lane and an assassin versus mage top, those are both prime ganking targets for either side. Rek'Sai's got a lot of good early power. Volibear's got a lot of good early power. It's just going to be probably a lot of back and forth. This game is what I'm expecting. I think that early objectives are going to be very important. First, Rift Herald is what I have my eyes on, because if you start to get some of the gold from taking towers onto champions, we've seen throughout this series how powerful that's been. I think that this time around, it's going to be Slap That Ash's Tristana that's potentially going to be taking.
They're trading around, not respectable. No, never mind. I was wait, no, they are. Okay. You know what? I believe it's 20 seconds, right? Is the last time you can trade, right?
I think that in tournament draft you can trade all the way down. So I'm not sure how that's going to work out. We're kind of playing a game of the 3 shells, where you kind of have the ball hidden under one of them and they're just rotating them around. That's kind of what it looked like there for a moment, but it looks like it will be the Nocturne jungle. I think that is probably what I was more expecting to see. Volibear versus Lissandra then is less gankable of a lane. Uh, I I think that that's just going to be a little bit more farming. That'll probably feel nice for Chessie getting that range versus melee matchup, but I think that all in all, that should just be a farm lane. And it's the mid lane then that is going to be the focus of the ganks.
Oh yeah, all that damage, and I mean Diana, Nocturne, Rek'Sai, Zed, all melee as well. It's going to be a brawl in the mid lane. But another thing, I mean, maybe it's a possibility. I just might be throwing it out there, and this wouldn't be the craziest thing we've seen all day. Odds on Ashe support being piloted by Blue Lake and having Ultra Farm and Anivia, maybe.
I think that that would actually be better than having the Ash farm, but I don't think that the odds of it are all that high. And I think that the reason is because if you have a support player that isn't uh, generally a person that practices a lot of farming, I don't know the details around Altro, but the flexing players thing is kind of more of TT Passion's side of things. So I think that Altro, I don't know how good of the farming that he's got. So I would expect that it's most likely that Blue Lake will be doing the farming. But I do like your idea. I think that that would make a decent bit of sense in this draft. I just don't think that we're going to see it in this particular game.
All right, so we've now extended it a bit into the spectator delay because there's definitely a lot more to talk about this time around. However, when we come back from this break, we will bring to you what might potentially be the final match between TT Passion and Urgottem Reformed. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you then.
Turn me into believer, set my heart on fire. Never knew it could happen so fast. I swear I never saw it coming. I find it hard to let go. I'm so cold to the core. I never knew you could mean so much, or you mean so much. Why you mean this much? I find it hard to believe her. I find it hard to believe her. pretend how we got here. I just wanna disappear. Tell me how we could be right here. I swear it came out of nowhere. Sometimes I wanna run away for the thrill of the chase. But it's hard when you mean so much. Oh, you mean so much. Why do you mean this much? I want it, I want it, I want it hard to believe. I want it, I want it, I want it hard to believe. I want it, I want it, I want it hard to believe.
And we are back for game 3 between TT Passion and Urgottem Reformed as we sit on match point for TT Passion. And well, we've got quite the draft and team composition coming from both teams out here, Kaiser. So
Yep. We talked a little bit about potential farming Anivia. It won't be that this time around. We can see the Spell Thief's edge coming through, as well as the fact that it is a lethal tempo Ash. So that's definitely what you want to go on the farming version of Ash instead of going towards that Imperial Mandate build. But I think that we'll see a lot of stuff going on in the bot lane that's probably going to be worth talking about. It is Cleanse going to be on Slap that Ashes Tristana here. Going to be trying to get out of some of this stun lock that you might expect to see out of an Anivia Ash combo. And in addition, having Nocturne able to go for those fears is going to be something that Cleanse can help out a little bit with as well. We got Ignites for both the supports, so looking to cut healing and go for finishing off kills there. Ignite as well for P7 in the mid lane. Not surprising, but definitely speaking to the fact that he wants to go for some all-ins potentially on Not Respectable.
Eldrin doesn't have any items.
That is true. That's going to not be helpful.
That is not what she would consider ideal. Where just a slight mistake. However, coming over to the mid lane, gank from Shake and Bake at level 2, Not Respectable, missing the flash over the wall, will pay for it with his life, and that is first blood going over to Shake Bake.
Yeah, I think Not Respectable is maybe dead there anyways, even if the flash goes through. But maybe it pulls another flash from P7 to follow up on it. But a good gank from Shake.
Dragon's looking very low, and we said no items, and as a gank moves right over to the top lane, Shake Bake trying to find another, will force a flash out of Dragon and will recall. So she'll be able to get that recall off, pick up the items, and probably not feel as bad anymore. But really great stuff from TT Passion early on here.
Yeah, and Flash Blown's definitely going to be something that can be picked on a little bit. Chessie going to have that level advantage as Dragon returns to the lane. Not even going to teleport, so it's going to be a little bit of an extra experience advantage in favor of Chessie here. Going to be looking to continue towards potentially going for some of these kills in the top lane. I don't think that that's the easiest kill to find, but when you've got that range advantage, when someone tries to walk up on you to pick up the minions, that's when you can punish them really hard.
Yeah, and I mean, even though it didn't help that he didn't have any items in that first, hold on, we've got a very aggressive trading from both Not Respectable and P7, still going for it. Not Respectable getting a decent chunk out, however, will back away as doesn't have information on the jungler or where Chessie is, and now into this lane. Not Respectable doesn't have the flash available. Flash in, and the snare comes through. The mid laner of Urgottem Reformed will go down, however, at what cost? Team Whisper does get a counter kill, but it won't be enough for him to get away, as it is a 2-for-1 in favor of TT Passion.
Yeah, a great flash Ring of Frost coming out from Chessie there. getting the roots onto both enemy mid jungle duoers, and able to pick up 2 kills there. I don't think that P7's going to be all too upset with
911
that.
pops forward aggressively. Ultra will be stunned up. Wall won't be enough. Egg won't be enough. And that's a kill going on to the Tristana.
Yeah, I think that a little bit of some early ganking coming through from Shake Bake. 2-0-2, very effective on this Rex. I've been tunneling exactly to the right spots on the map and killing off enemy members left and right. Already 2 kills onto Not Respectable, and finding the enemy jungler as well in one of those duels. The latest victim, Outro, going to be flashless and eggless for a little while. So there's just so many points on the map. No one's got flash on
Nope.
Urgottem Reformed, so everywhere is a threat for a gank.
Yeah, and especially with how much how far ahead this Rek'Sai is, wherever the wherever she appears on the map, it's gonna is. I mean, at this point, you'd have to expect it to end in a kill, as that is very nearly P7 poking out Eldragon. Not something you exactly expect to hear when it's Zed into Volibear, but that first strike and just that extra bit of gold throughout the early portions of the game allows him to carry through in this Sui one, and actually might just
Level
try to
6
find the
now.
kill. Yeah, is level 6, though won't look much further, as there are 2 members in that top lane, but this will just open up in the bot lane for GT Passion to take the first dragon at 6 minutes.
Yeah, this is the cleanest of the
On
3
Chessie doesn't look like he wants to give it up either. Wall does come down, but it won't be enough. Chessie getting the kill into Blue Lake 5, and it is absolute domination from TT Passion once again in this early game.
Yeah, and getting those kills onto key members. Everyone's a key member of this game. I mean, you're talking about Lissandra being one of the least damaging members of the team. So definitely going to feel good for Chessie to get on towards that mythic for sure. But it's P7 finding those solo kills in the top lane that's the real story.
Ooh, not quite. Not quite with the right positioning on that wall from Altro. Like the idea though, because it was very aggressive from 911. Probably would have been able to get at least the flash out had it knocked him the other direction, but at the end of the day, won't find much else out of that.
Yeah, with the support Anivia, I just checked in on the how many levels in each ability. Apparently, it is Emax for Altro going for those frostbites, trying to get some extra damage down. I kind of am surprised. I was thinking that most likely it would be Q Max with a slight possibility of just maxing wall so that you get that bigger wall, but I didn't expect to see it, just the damage ability. I guess that being able to cast that more often and doing more damage is going to be the biggest priority. But that kind of for me reduces the value on
On
that
Chess,
Anivia
he's
support.
trying to find the all-in onto Eldragon, but doesn't quite realize the extra health coming through on that Volibear ulti, getting the return kill, or not return kill, getting the kill in the 1v1 despite not even electing to take the fight.
Yeah, well played there by Eldragon, knowing the damages, knowing what needs to be done.
And, well, thanks, automatic director cam for showing us that, and then immediately flashing away, because I thought for a moment, as I imagine you did as well, Tiger, that there was a potential fight in that mid lane, but unfortunately no.
Yeah, Shake Bake looking for a gank here potentially. Lucifer also on the hunt. Lucifer up 2 levels. Shake Bake just taking over to 6 now.
Yeah, and I mean, I'd have to say it's definitely been worth it though. I mean, even though you're down, even if you are down 20, CS flash in from P7 gets a solo kill into Not Respectable, and all the while over in their own jungle, Shake Bake picks up another.
Yeah, Lucifer able to be picked off in the jungle. Good invade coming out from Chessie, helping out Shake Bake there. And then P7 just showing the mechanics once again. This Zed has been too good, able to go in with the ultimate and then yoink right back out with the Shadow Shift. Able to pick up that solo kill with the shurikens as well. And now El Dragon might be in another fight.
Yeah, this time around she doesn't have the ultimate available, so it'll be a little bit more difficult as they both flash away from each other. Both getting maybe a little, I mean, I get why both of them would do that. Oh, well, Dragon, though, gets taken low. And there it is. Shake Bake picks up that kill, but is in a little bit of a difficult situation here. And that's a shutdown going over to T1 Lucifer, and a relatively big one at that, as that's an extra 600 gold into the pocket of this Nocturne. And even though it's been a bit silent, at least in comparison to Shake Bake's early game, I mean, a little bit quietly, T1 Lucifer's been able to get a little bit of gold for himself.
Yeah, so looking at the gold overall, it's 3,000 in favor of T2 Passion. They've played out the early game fantastically, but I think that we're seeing even up in the jungle after that kill. So despite the 4 early kills for Shake Bake, it's going to be level after the shutdown.
Yeah, and we actually just got a slightly highly aggressive move in this bot lane. Ultimate's expended, and we just might see some deaths coming through, but it's not enough damage. Blue Lake gets a first kill onto 911, but I believe that will be Shake Bake getting spotted out there and moving any sort of potential rest of this fight. But either way, still really good stuff from the bot lane of Urgottem Reformed.
Well, I get the Emax now. I think that was a pretty good display of why you're going to max your damage ability first. Altro doing a ton of damage there with the poke at the beginning of the fight, and then a good enchanted crystal arrow from Blue Lake able to finish the job. Now Rift Herald going down in the mid lane though, so once again just trying to get this turret plates onto P7, uh, carry the game through that.
Hold on, Shake Bake. Not quite, I mean, not Shake Bake. T1 Lucifer. Actually, hold on. Speaking of Shake Bake, trying to go in on T1 Lucifer. But a little bit of a split fight here, marked up by the concussive blows. T1 Lucifer has to flash out. Shake Bake gets that kill. Blue Lake now only one auto attack away from getting stunned up, and that will be the ADC of Urgottem Reform taken down as well with the, oh, dearie me. It is a great stopwatch from 911, and this will be the support Urgottem Reform finally going down, and it's a 12-minute ace over the side of TT Passion, because all the while, something we didn't even see is that's a solo kill in the top lane for Chessie.
Yeah, Chessie picking up the solo kill on El Dragon, and in the mid lane, P7 picking up a solo kill as well. So both solo laners finding the solo kills, and then the chase in the jungle. Once you get one kill on Tristana, that's one of those reset champs where you get the first kill, then the rest are sure to follow. So well played there by TT Passion.
This isn't over yet. Perhaps a bit too ambitious from Shake Bake. Gets knocked up to T1 Lucifer, but there's just no one else around him. Shut down going over to Not Respectable on the Diana. So a bit more gold going over to the side of Urgottem Reformed, but still a relatively dire situation as they sit down 5k gold at 13 minutes.
Yeah, and it's nice to see the fight still in the eyes of Urgottem Reformed, able to pick up one kill there, but it's kind of small potatoes after giving up a full ace. We'll see if El Dragon's
Oh, yeah, hold on. El Dragon trying to find the all-in, but doesn't quite know where P7 is. Commits too early and gets killed. And that's just one more kill in the long list of them that we've seen so far.
Yeah, a little revenge in the lore going on here right now. Volibear blinded Lissandra. Now Lissandra is blinding Volibear right back, getting a couple of solo kills there. This time handing it over to P7 on the Zed, picking up the fourth kill of the game. So now with that advantage. And once again, P7 kind of defaulting to just taking towers and turret plates to get more of the gold lead. We're seeing If we look at the individual gold, it's almost 3,000 in favor of P7 at this point in the game. Just another day in the series, going towards P7 as the biggest winner of the laning phase. And now
Hold on, 911 will be stunned up by Dragon, but without much of her team around, this just might be not enough actually, as Lucifer gets that first kill, but I don't know if the rest of this will be enough. P7 slowed up, but the burn is enough from the red buff. All the while, two splashes using the bot lane, not respectable, taking a lot of tower damage. As Shake Bake moves over to this side, will be able to get the kill onto the Diana. So we've got fights all over the place, and well, considering how far back Urgottem Reformed are on gold, despite having taken more losses in that last fight across the map, it's at least something for their shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, getting something's better than getting nothing, but they're getting picked right now is what they're getting.
And speaking of getting picked, Blue Lake just might be doing that as well. Shake Bake walking up, will elect to move away, and these slows coming through. Shake Bake actually taking a bit of damage now. I don't believe the Enchanted Crystal Arrow is back up, so won't have the risk of the stun coming through, but still very dangerous from the ADC of Urgottem Reformed.
Yeah, that's kind of the power of Ashe, is that you can't really run away from her very effectively. Shake Bake finally able to get to a tunnel.
Dragon spotted out here without much of her team around. We'll have to flash over that wall, and that is a really big summer spell used for really nothing in return.
Yeah, so I think that this will yield the Rift Herald easily going over. Already we're seeing the mythic items completed here. Going to be the Kraken Slayer for Slap That Ashe. 4-0-3 on the Tristanis. Going to be doing a ton of damage to objectives.
Paranoia used, but 3 members in the spot lane. Can it be turned around by P7? Maybe gets the first kill, but that will be it. But still, 1 kill in a 1v3 is incredible from this, well, top mid laner sort of player for... Wait, hold on. We've got to fight Jessie trying to find the kill onto this support. Altro, I mean, yeah, not much else you can do there. Dragon trying to find the way, will be stunned up by those concussive blows. So won't be taken down, but maybe try and find another one.
Yeah, TT Passion now up about 6,500 gold. They've got control of the map once again. This is starting to look similar to last game. Not going to be quite the same, of course, because no Tryndamere on the map, but P7 still doing a ton of damage to some towers this game. Already going to be 2.5 items completed on this Zed, going to be looking very strong. And right now, there's not anyone who can survive the 1v1 with P7. We saw that bot lane. They tried to get him with a 3v1. He still is able to come up with the kill. Now looking at potentially the third Drake of the game. Rift Herald going to be summoned up to assist here. And we'll see if there's any contest coming through from Urgottem Reformed, but it's going to be very difficult for them to do so without paying a dear price.
Yeah, I mean, really, I mean, Soul Point, but considering the circumstances, that is Dragon taken out very early on in this fight. And not respectable, trying to go in onto the back line, followed up by the Paranoia. Not quite enough damage going down, but will finally get the kill onto the Lissandra. Shutdown going over to Blue Lake, however, getting burnt down by the red buff of Shake Bake. Won't be enough to make it back out, though, as does get taken down by the Anivia, but all the while we take a look once more. P7 in a side lane, doing some
big
work.
This time.
Yeah,
going to be P7. That one melee minion having a hard time getting through the ranged minion line, but it's not going to help the turret survive. And it looks like Lucifer going to be able to pick up this Cloud Drake here, so that's a nice objective bounty. Not going to make up for all of the turrets lost in the top side of the map. In addition to one going down to the Rift Herald charge, and the Rift Herald got a second charge on the tier 2 in the bot lane. So that's 3 towers all in all in favor of TT Passion here. It traded over for that one Drake. Cloud Soul, not the biggest priority of all the souls, but always a nice one to have. Uh, I think that right now, though, TT Passion are going to be setting their sights on something bigger, potentially something that's going to be purple and spawns onto the rift here in 30 seconds.
Third Rift Herald?
Third Rift
No.
Herald!
Third Rift Herald! No, I do know what you mean though. Yeah, obviously there are unfortunately Rift Herald. Shelly's great and all, but we're only allowed two, unfortunately. But yeah, as it as it was, hold on, we've got a gank coming in onto Chess Yi all the while, maybe trying to find this dive, an early ultimate from L Dragon. Caesar on low health. And actually, this might in this round, however, straight into the bot lane, 1v1. P7 trying to find the way and gets the kill onto the Diana and will get out freely. T1 Lucifer now trying to find their way onto Chess Yi. That being said, L Dragon's a bit too ambitious there, is taken down, and actually, hold on, T1 Lucifer going low. The fear comes through. Now the Zanyas and Shake Bake's here. Shake Bake turns it around, and what looked to be maybe Chess Yi going down does survive and does get 2 kills in this top lane, and all the while across the map, 2 more kills went over in favor of TT Passion. So once more, TT Passion really just running away with this game, and I'm looking for 21-minute Baron.
Yeah, it wasn't ever going to be long before they got on to the Purple Worm. But Baron, not long for this world. I mean, you're up against Tristana on Kraken Slayer, Phantom Dancer. It's always going to be taking you down pretty fast. P7 just continuing to put pressure on the map, taking a little bit of poke there. So definitely not an infallible champion on the Zed, but definitely buying enough space for the rest of the team to feel comfortable taking that Baron down 100-0 without any risk of a 50-50 in the smite.
Yeah, and really, I would assume P7 knew that there was going to be a reset after that Baron take anyway. So I mean, knowing that your team's just going to be recalling afterwards, if you just it'd be just enough, no matter how much health you really lose, so long as you don't die, to expend there to prevent any sort of chance at a steal. However, unlikely. Hold on, P7's here on the back line. L Dragon's gone. Urgottem and Reform are gone, and that is an instant deletion of. Oh, well, yeah, if Urgottem and Reform is not respectable on the backside here, probably won't even be able to get a recall off.
911 winning the 1v1? What?
Yeah, so Braum versus Diana. Braum wins, and all the while comes the rest of TT Passion. And I mean, I hate to say it's over before the Nexus goes out, but yeah, it's not looking great.
You're not saying that it's
I'm
over.
not saying that it's over, because as a caster you're not supposed to do that, but but
It's looking pretty dire here. You're gonna
yeah,
have to be
especially
the
as
last.
L Dragon's taking a lot of damage. Locket's enough to keep that top laner alive. All these cooldowns used, trying to find any sort of kill, still even unable to get 1 kill in return. And with that, that'll be the sweep.
I would say it's over.
Going over to TT Passion, they're just trying to find a bit more when they can. Not respectable, not even going to be able to get the kill onto P7 at the end there. So really just extremely clean from TT Passion. An absolute domination in this match point. And I mean, they really did rise to the occasion. I mean, the first 2 games, there was still an element of doubt with Urgottem Reform being able to team fight really well and stall out the game as long as possible. And you have that inkling of a feeling that they might be able to turn it around. But this was an absolute slaughter from TT
Yeah,
Passion.
not just a slaughter, it was a bloodbath. I mean, we're talking 47 kills in 23 minutes. That's more than 2 kills a minute, son. That was an absolute bloodbath of a game. But a lot of those kills going in favor of TT Passion as they're able to claim the 3-0 series victory and advance to quarterfinals here. I was expecting to have hopefully a little bit of closer of a match, but I do enjoy seeing cleanly played out games and a lot of impressive mechanics going in there. Of course, seeing the Zed is always exciting. Chessie actually playing out that Lissandra to quite an impressive degree as well. And I think that all in all, a good series coming out from the side of TT Passion, and they're looking pretty formidable going into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, especially since that they know what they want to do. Like they know that they want to get P7, all the gold, all the resources, and almost like a solo lane Uzi when RNG would feed
Yeah.
would funnel all their resources back then. That's like the closest comparison I could really draw to. And I mean, there's a reason why he's top five and pretty much every single recorded statistic throughout the regular split, really putting it on display there. So, I mean, well played, TT Passion and Urgottem Reformed. It was a very it was an interesting series, especially with the picks that we got to see out. It was at least fun in that way. But until next time, I've been sun praising. Alongside me has been Tiger, and this time around, it's actually PVS who's been behind the scenes. I know I'm used to saying Wookie Monster. I almost did actually out of just habit there, but thank you PVS for holding down production this time around, and everybody at Runeterra Academy for just having this together. If you actually normally say that I'll see you next week, but this time I'll actually see you tomorrow for the juniors round of 16.